Hi, I'm Karen Fisk. The scene kept playing back in my mind again and again. The gravel and the debris as the car went end over end over end. And the old man who sent us flying off the open road. The day began with an ultimatum. Our son Zoe would not sit in his car seat. And it was a state-of-the-art car seat. Once you got that click done, you could send that kid to the moon. Nothing would happen to them. The problem was the click. And if you had walked by me that morning when I was trying to get Zoe into the car seat, you would have thought I was abusing him. He had his back arched and his shoulders twisted, and he was yelling, "No, no, no." Well, I had it too. At 3 years old, he was actually tall enough and heavy enough to be in a booster seat. So we put him in the booster seat. We clicked up the seat belts, and we were on our way. We were going to a toy wooden boat workshop. And Zoe was in ecstasy at that workshop because they let them use power tools. Not a bandsaw or anything like that, but a power drill. And he made this incredible boat. We had a wonderful day. It was hot and sunny and fun. And as we got back into the car, the only thing we did different was I sat in the back seat to read to Zoe as we went along. I remember looking up in the rearview mirror and smiling at my husband, Andrew, and he smiled back because we had had such a wonderful day. I remember looking over my shoulder and seeing an old man walking along the side of the road. And then it happened. The churning of the gravel and the debris and the car turning, and suddenly the sudden crash and arms pulling me out of the car and yelling for Zoe and somebody putting him into my arms, and then we were in an ambulance, and then we were in the emergency room, and the nurse was running over to me saying, "Was your child in a car seat?" And I just burst out crying because he wasn't in a car seat, and I had no idea if he was okay or not. And then they took us in 2 different directions to do the first aid they needed to do. The next time I saw Zoe, he was in a hospital bed, hopping up and down in the hospital bed. He had a teddy bear under one arm and a lollipop in the other hand, and I remember thinking vaguely, that's not safe. Him hopping up and down in a bed with a lollipop in his hand. He had a bump on his forehead and his eyes were starting to go black, but you know what? He looked pretty good. But then I realized, where's Andrew? Thankfully, just a few minutes later, the curtains opened and there he was. And he looked shell-shocked, but he looked wonderful. And we went home. And in the next days, I just kept going through that accident. It was so scary. It was so awful. And I think I just needed somebody to blame. And I thought about that old man. I thought, he was some sort of devil. He was a demon who had cursed us and sent us off the road. That's what happened. Just about that time, our landlord stopped by. We lived in a small town, and he had heard what had happened. And as soon as he affirmed that we were okay, he pointed to the ceiling. Above us, there was a young woman who had a little boy. All summer long, I had been trying to make friends with her. The 2 kids were the same age. I thought they'd have fun together. But she never let me catch her eye. She was sort of a little vacant, really. And the boy kind of trailed along behind her. I actually never saw them engage with each other. It was very strange. He pointed up at the ceiling and he said, "You know, they were in an accident too. When she was pregnant with him, she walked away. But the little boy and the little girl who she was babysitting were killed." Yeah. Everything changed in my mind when I heard that. I thought, oh my, we could have killed somebody. We could have hit another car. We could have hit that old man. And suddenly that man was not a demon at all. If he was anything, he was an angel. Because nobody died that day. Nobody was killed. Everybody was okay. Thank God.